Hello and welcome to Italian Serie A match day 12, a very important weekend because we have Inter Napoli, the first against the second after the big defeat we saw at the Maradona. Leo, Napoli 0, Atalanta 3, Clinic and Ademola Lookman is on fire.
Absolutely, he scored yesterday as well in the Champions League, but they were amazing in the 𝐻𝐵 Maradona. I cannot say that Napoli was poor, but as you said, Atalanta is a joy to watch them, and they were super clinical in the 𝐻𝐵 Maradona. Yes.
What a run for La Dea, third in the standings, only 3 points away now from the Napoletani. So guys, remember to comment the video with us, of course. Let us know your tips and subscribe, press the like. Let's go on, Leo, with the show. And perhaps tonight on Thursday you wanna watch some Europa League games and Conference League games, but also we have a Serie A game, surprisingly, on Thursday. Genoa, 𝐿𝐵𝐴, both with 9 points, very close to the relegation zone. The bottom three have 8 points. Everything is really packed in Italy. There are 7 teams in 1 point. Genoa, Leo, they surprised us with the win in Parma. Pinamonti scored the winner. It was a big surprise at home, still without a win. And 𝐿𝐵𝐴 falling, lost to Empoli 5-1 the last home game against Lazio. It's only 1 point in the last 5 games for 𝐿𝐵𝐴.
Yes, absolutely. They are not doing themselves any favor when we talk about survival chances. 𝐿𝐵𝐴, another loss on Matchday 11. The fourth defeat in the last 5 was the one with Empoli. The other one was a draw with Parma at home. Fabregas does not like to use the word crisis, but they are definitely inside one, I would say. And the next couple of weeks is very important for 𝐿𝐵𝐴 because now it's Genoa, but then after the international break, they will face Fiorentina and then Monza and Venezia consecutively. So, and the worrying thing, I believe, for them is that they lack desire and intensity lately. Fabregas changed his front four in the second half on Matchday 11. Nico Paz was benched as well with Empoli. So, for all the defensive lapses they have, and that we spoke about that lately, they have lost also the attacking spark that they show at the beginning of the season. In the last 5 matches, they scored 3 goals, when in the previous 5, they have scored 9. So you could see, or we can see that they are favorite for the bookies, but I don't see it, to be honest, very clearly that way, Edu. And for Genoa, we were talking last show that if Genoa wins, we were saying the bottom of the table is going to be absolutely packed, everyone within 1 point. Well, they gave the surprise. They won in Parma 0-1. Balotelli is officially returned to the Serie A after 4 years. He came on the 86th minute of the game and he was booked 5 minutes after. So absolutely proper Mario, what we had in the Ennio Tardini. You said Pinamonti scored for them. Pinamonti was also the scorer against Monza on the 24th of August, so he already gave Genoa 6 points. Pinamonti, he scored 4 already the season. With Sassuolo last season, he scored 11. So if he manages to make it double digits for Genoa this season, maybe the hopes for survival in Genoa will increase, that's for sure. I was a little bit surprised to see Balotelli so quick pushed into the squad, but the reality as well is that they are missing like 4 or 5 attacking players. They are relying on a 17 years old, apart from Pinamonti, they are relying on 𝐿𝐴𝐵𝐴, who is 17 years old. 𝐿𝐴𝐵𝐴 scored against Atalanta when they lost 5-1, but they need experience for this time. As I said, Edu, bookies are placing 𝐿𝐵𝐴 as favorite. I don't see it that way, especially when the last 2 games for Genoa at home, they've been a draw with Bologna, and then they lost 1-0 against Fiorentina, who is one of the top teams lately in Serie A. So for me, it's double chance Genoa, 1.56. Not great odds, but not too bad neither.
Yeah, surprisingly, Genoa is the underdog. They haven't won at home. I read some news, Leo, about Totti coming back. He said the 𝐿𝐭𝐴 owners, the brothers, contacted him, and he's 48. He was playing paddle in Miami, I think. Imagine Totti at his age of 48. When I read it, I thought it was a mistake or something else, but who knows? Maybe we have, together with Pepe Reina, probably, or Sergi Roberto, not the oldest dressing room in history with Francesco Totti. Probably he's in good form, but
no, well, when you see clips of him playing like futsal, or he's still his sharpness is there. You know, the way he can shoot and pick the ball, just drop him there. It would be amazing to see him back.
Probably splitting up with the wife, no, was not a good idea for him, and he wants to be busy. Well, next game on Friday, one game also, Lecce, Empoli. Lecce, bottom of the table with 8 points, only 1 point away from salvation. Only 4 goals scored is the lowest tally in this Serie A. They lost to Bologna 1-0 in the last minutes. They conceded, but they won the last home game against Verona. Last 6 games for Lecce, Leo, both teams to score, no. And in this game, surprisingly, in my opinion, they are the favorites. Good odds to back Empoli, a really good away team also this season with only 1 defeat against Lazio.
Yes, absolutely. And it's been the case a few times with Empoli, which is having a very good season, and the odds are quite against them. So we've been going for double chance for Empoli, and it's been working. And I don't see here why we shouldn't do anything different. I will go a little bit more at the end. But yes, Empoli, the win against 𝐿𝐭𝐴 was the first, finally, in the last 6 for them. The situation for Empoli anyway is not as with the teams who are with 8 or 9 points, but at the same time, once you go the route of defeats, then it's sometimes difficult to leave that negative spiral. That's why it was so important for them to win on Matchday 11 against 𝐿𝐭𝐴. But even in those defeats, they show that they're a very good rounded team. Even on the defeat with Lazio, even on the defeat with Napoli, we saw good things from Empoli. With 𝐿𝐭𝐴, they knew that 𝐿𝐭𝐴 was going to have the ball. I think the possession stat was like 62 or 61% for 𝐿𝐭𝐴, but the reality is that they knew as well that they were lacking teeth, 𝐿𝐭𝐴, so they haven't even suffered, to be honest, in their own goal. Empoli, actually, they registered double shots on target than 𝐿𝐭𝐴, even despite the possessions stat I just told you. Pellegrini, first goal for Empoli this season, and the first home win as well for them in the season. 𝗛𝗲𝗿𝗀 was vindicated with that decision because he left out Lorenzo Colombo to give the chance to Pellegrini. They are 11th in the table, level on points with Torino, 2 points behind Udinese in 8th, or 3 points behind Milan in 7th. So again, great season for them. Lecce, they couldn't build on the win on Matchday 10. Again, they went back to losing weight. They were holding anyway until the 85th minutes against Bologna, until Orsolini scored. But at the same time, they never provided the threat in the counter. Lecce, very little, and again, as I said, another defeat for them. So yes, the odds on Empoli, no doubt, are amazingly good. Empoli to win 3.61. Do we want to be a little bit more cautious? Not a problem. As I said, double chance Empoli is 161. But if you want the higher odds, but still maybe not fully trusting Empoli, or you are scared of a draw, Empoli draw, no bet, 2.3. So all these tips, I believe, are good for this game, Edu.
Great, Leo, let me know, guys, in the comments, what do you think about these games? Another important game for the relegation, Venezia. Parma, Venezia, penultimate in the standings, also 8 points. Parma with 9, but falling in the table after a great start. Parma lost to Genoa after 4 consecutive draws. Venezia lost to Inter, only 1-0, Leo, and they were this close to get a point if it was not that goal disallowed. A bit controversial. By the way, the referee was a woman.
Yes, and to be honest, yes, they were seconds away of sending shockwaves to the top of the Serie A. 96 minutes, I think it was equalizer from 𝗀𝗏𝗀𝗀. Di Francesco was very upset. I mean, it was a handball. It was a correct decision that it didn't need on-field review, because as much as a goal, as much as we have a goal, and that goal had a hand in play, we know it's going to be disallowed. Actually, some were saying as well that maybe even was a foul from 𝗀𝗏𝗀𝗀 when he jumped. He had both hands on Inter's defender's back. But anyway, it was a good performance from Venezia. They managed to create 3 or 4 chances to score. Sometimes they were committing too many players on the counter attack, which was leaving them exposed to Inter transition. And there is something which Inter are master of it. Those are attacking transitions. 𝐶𝐿𝐵𝐾𝐿, anyway, the 21-year-old keeper, was the man of the match for Venezia. The option for him, he's on loan from Inter, and the option is only 2 million euros. I think it will be bonkers if we don't take that option at the end of the season. He arrived as a backup goalkeeper, but he started to play in the last 4 games. Yes, he conceded 7 goals since he started to play, but he played against Inter, Udinese, Atalanta, and in those 3 games in particular, he was the man of the match. So, and again, with Inter, great saves to keep Venezia in the game. 2 wins this season at home for Venezia. Now comes this Parma with 4 draws and 1 defeat, playing away from home. They were amazing away in Turin with Juventus in the 2-2. So I was so surprised to see them playing so poorly at home against Genoa after what they have done against Juve. All Parma away games, bar the one with Bologna, where both teams to score. The parity is almost there. High odds on both ends to win. But my take here is the goals market, Edu, and the goals under. Goals under 3.25, odds of 1.6.
Okay, good odds if you are backing the under in this game. Next one is Cagliari Milan. Huge surprise at the Bernabeu. Milan won 3-1 after the lucky win, I would say, in Monza. They won in Monza, but they conceded so many chances at the Bernabeu. They won deservedly. 4 wins in the last 5 games, even if they are not this reliable away, or they were showing this season that they were not reliable. For Cagliari, Leo, 3 straight defeats after losing to Lazio.
Yes, absolutely. And the question, I think, with Milan is, with the Milan that traveling to Sardinia, is which Milan are we going to see? The one that won the derby? We are going to see the Milan that lost against Napoli and played very poorly. We're going to see the one that won in Monza on Matchday 11, but had a terrible first half, and only Lac and Magnan saved them from falling 1-0 or 2-0 in the first half. Or are we going to see the Milan that play on Tuesday against Real Madrid in the Bernabeu? I don't know if you had those kind of books when you were little in Spain, called Choose Your Own Adventure. Know that at some point within the book you could choose which page to go, and depending on the page you landed, the story was going to finish with a different story. So Milan are like this. It's a flip of a coin. You don't know which Milan you're going to encounter. If it's the one with a good story, you have the Bernabeu. If it's the one with the bad story, then you have the one with Monza, even by winning, or the one with Napoli. But Milan side, on the level they show in the Bernabeu, there's no match for Cagliari at all. Reindeers, again, in the Bernabeu, he was amazing, and he scored the winner against Monza. I wouldn't be surprised to see him departing for Manchester City, Barca, or whatever team comes after him. Rafa Leao finally produced a good performance in the Bernabeu. It doesn't matter if he hasn't scored since the game with Lazio. The main thing with him is you want to see him that he cares, and that's what he's shown against Monza when he came from the bench, mostly in the Bernabeu. Musa is being very important in midfield. He was great as well in the Bernabeu, helping Emerson Royal to make it 2-1 against Vinicius on the side. And Magnan, again, outstanding saves in Madrid, like he has done with Monza. Cagliari, a run of 3 consecutive defeats. You mentioned against Lazio, they hold it for 70 minutes, but they couldn't do much. Milan 5 points away from Champions League spots, and with one game as well in hand against Bologna. So for me, Milan to win plus goals over 1.5 to take the odds higher to 1.98.
All right, Leo, Cagliari, Milan. Let's see which Milan we see. Even Morata scored at the Bernabeu. We had both things, Milan playing well, Real Madrid playing really poorly, but it was a great win for Fonseca. Let's see if the team is more convincing, because after the derby, we thought it could be a turning point, and they went backwards in some games. Next one, derby della Mole. Leo, do you know when was the last away win for Torino in the derby?
The last win away, you need to go back quite a lot, because this is one of the most one-sided derbies I know in Europe. I mean,
I was clicking the more and more button to check.
Yes.
1995 was the last away win for Torino in this derby. No matter how poor Juventus are, they are always winning this derby. And the last win for Torino overall, no matter at home or away, 2015. The goal for Juve was scored by Pirlo, and 𝐻𝐿𝐴 scored, by the way, great player, 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐴 for Torino. So I think it was 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐴, actually. I'm not 100% sure. So, Leo, if you are choosing a safe bet for this weekend, it should be Juventus to win 1.6 anytime.
Well, it's absolutely, it's very weird to see, to believe or to think of a safe bet in a derby, but it is what it is. I mean, that defeat for Juve against Torino, that you mentioned, 2015, was the last one in the last 36 matches against Torino in Serie A. 26 times 3 points for Juve, and then we had 10 draws in the last 9 years. To be honest, it's very difficult to see Torino taking anything from here, even if Juve is not enjoying the best part of the season. Although I believe, Edu, it was a positive draw for them in Lille. They fall behind. And actually, a quick parenthesis, Jonathan David scored for Lille, and who knows, maybe he ends up in Juve next summer. Jonathan David is going to finish his contract next summer with Lille, but they never lost their heads in France. Juventus, in the second half, they press, they move the ball quickly, and they push Lille back. It's true that the penalty maybe was a little bit soft for 𝗵𝗏𝗏 to score, but I think it was a good point for Juve, and they have even 2 goals disallowed for offside. With Udinese, they certified the game in the first half. After 40 minutes, the game was already 2-0, and the second half was just a procedure for Juve to take the 3 points. Another game with 𝐿𝐵 Thuram having a very, very good game. I think Mota find a very good combination, Locatelli and Thuram. Locatelli being a little bit more positional in front of the defense, and Thuram, the one who likes to carry the ball and be inside of the box. I mean, the first goal is being given an own goal for Udinese's keeper, but it was all 𝐿𝐵 Thuram, and he shot and the ball struck the post and then the back of the goalkeeper. So I will give it almost to him. And for Juventus, Edu, after conceding 4 with Inter and 2 with Parma, was important for them also the clean sheet. The 3 points got more value on Sunday after the defeat of Napoli as well. And Torino, despite on top of being in a one-sided derby, they are in a difficult situation. 6 defeats in the last 7 matches in all competitions for them. The 14 points that the Granata built has been mostly done in the first 5 match days of this season. So Juventus to win 1.58 is good, absolutely. I will also point to Juventus to win a second half goals over 0.5 takes the odds closer to 2.
Of course, Juventus to win. 𝐻𝐿𝐴 is going for an under 2.5 goals here. Positive draw also for Juve in midweek against Lille. Next one, Atalanta Udinese, one of the most informed teams in Europe. Atalanta also won in the Champions League. They are flying at the moment. 5 consecutive wins in Serie A. 𝐿𝐿 scoring in Europe, in the league. The Catelare even giving assist. Even Zaniolo scored, Leo. Very good news. I was a big fan of Zaniolo when he started playing for Roma. So everything is really positive. Therefore, the odds are very low to back Atalanta against Udinese. Even if Udinese is a good team, by the way, this season.
Yeah, they're a good team, but this is Atalanta to win. As much as you were mentioning, like I said, with Juve and Torino, Atalanta goes that same route as well. I believe, and especially playing at home. Yesterday against a very good side like Stuttgart, who won against Juventus away. They won it 2-0 with 2 goals in the second half. 𝐿𝐿 and Zaniolo scoring. You mentioned Zaniolo coming into the game for Matteo Retegui. Atalanta have scored 23 times in the last 8 games in all competitions. So it's almost an average of 3 goals per game lately for Gianpiero Gasperini's side. I mentioned Retegui yesterday coming out Zaniolo coming in for Retegui. Retegui did not start in the Diego Armando Maradona. And to be honest, when I saw the lineup, I thought, what's going on? Did he get injured, or it's been a fallout like with Papu Gomez between Retegui and Gasperini? No, it was just another tactical muscle stroke from Gasperini, who didn't want Napoli's defenders to have a reference. So Ademola Lookman had more space actually to run in behind, and he scored a brace. You look at the stats in Serie A, and it's very difficult not to find someone from Atalanta in almost every department. Retegui, the capocannoniere, with his 11th goal of the season, because all the stars are aligned. Retegui does not start, but he comes in the second half, and he scored the third one against Napoli. He has taken 39 shots in Serie A, so it means 1 every 4 shots almost he scores in this season. Ademola Lookman, he's the player with more involvements between goals and assists in 2024 in the Serie A. 16 goals and 11 assists for him. Derun is the one with the most successful tackles in the Serie A this season, and the second with the most successful passes this season. So in every department, an Atalanta player for sure to find. So Udinese lost 4 of the last 6. I cannot see them taking anything, to be honest, in this game, even though I agree with you, they're a good team. There are many good odds on Atalanta. Atalanta to win 2-0 is something I will be really looking at. Odds of 2.38. You could go Atalanta half-time, full-time, odds of 2. You can go Retegui to score anytime, odds of 2. Ademola Lookman, I will point as well. Ademola Lookman to score anytime. I will even place it more than Retegui to score, because Ademola Lookman is on fire as well. So Ademola Lookman to score anytime, 2.3 odds for him. And also goals over. For me here is goals over 2.75 with odds of 1.76. Seems good as well, Edu.
Well, 29 goals scored, 14 conceded. So imagine if we are seeing goals in Atalanta's games. No betting against Atalanta. 𝗀𝐿𝐿 is telling us, and I completely agree. He's going for an Asian handicap -1 for Atalanta. Next game is a good one. Roma, Bologna. 𝗀𝐿𝐿 is still the manager, right, Leo? At this time, at this moment.
Look, Edu, I allowed the Gazzetta dello Sport app on my phone to send me notifications, just in case, in case if something happened with 𝗀𝐿𝐿. So, but he's still there, yes.
Well, Roma playing away in Europe. Bologna lost again in the Champions League. In Serie A, they beat Lecce and Cagliari 2-0 recently, but they were not great performances as well. So both are struggling. Roma defense is so poor. The third goal conceded against Verona was a disgrace. Was shameful for all the players. So, Leo, 2 teams in trouble. What is your angle for this game?
You We talk about Zurich lately, of course, because of the situation for Roma. But come on, players need to step up as well, Edu, because too many of them are not in a good level. They're not helping the team lately. Pellegrini, Cristante, Mancini, Angelino, Paredes, and the list goes on. Even Dybala, yes, he scored on Matchday 10, but still he's not enough. He needs to give more, and it's always this feeling of like, is he gonna play? Can he play 2 games in a row? Well, the answer is no, because he was on the bench against Verona. You mentioned the third goal, and also 𝐿𝐿𝐴𝐵𝐺𝐻 made a mistake that led to the first goal scored by Verona. He was almost in tears, needed to be comforted by Mancini. So it's not just Zurich. Many of these players need to step up. I would say the only player that has been consistently during the season has been 𝐿𝐭𝐚𝐲 at the heart of the midfield. I don't know why Zurich does not try to play with Paredes as a holding midfielder. Paredes is a substitute mostly in this team, but to use him in front of the defense and try to give more freedom to 𝐭𝐭𝐻, who likes to push forward, who likes to run with the ball, like almost Thuram in Juve, but with less flair in the case of the Roma player. And Bologna will arrive to the Olimpico with 2 consecutive wins in Serie A, Cagliari and Lecce, and 2 consecutive clean sheets for them, despite they lost, yes, against Monaco at home in the Champions League. They are now with 15 points, with a game in hand. With Lecce, we had another Orsolini goal. So another Orsolini goal as well that gives them 3 points. They didn't create a lot, but still was enough for them to take the 3 points against Lecce. For me, Roma is still the favorite, of course, in this game, Edu. The odds are good on them. I remember that when De Rossi was fired after the 1-1 against Genoa, Roma the next game, and with Zurich in the bench, the first one was against Udinese at the Olimpico. And the players show up. They knew that the fans were going to be as well on top of them, and Roma won the game 3-0. So I know Roma needs to play still tonight in Europa League, but I expect some resurrection very similar to the one we saw against Udinese after their fire De Rossi, because these players, they need to step up, and playing at home in the Olimpico with their own fans, I think they're going to do it. So for me, it's Roma to win 2.1.
Roma to win for Leo Bachanian. Let's see, under 1 goal at halftime could be an option, and 𝐿𝐴𝐵𝐺𝐻 is also not seeing many goals, under 1.5. Last season, Bologna destroyed Roma, by the way, to seal their Champions League spot at the end of the season, but these are different days for both clubs. Another team flying is Fiorentina, playing at home against Verona, top 4 right now for La Viola, beating Torino. 𝐿𝐵𝐺𝐻 𝐿𝐴𝐵𝐺𝐻 scoring 7 consecutive wins in all competitions. Let's see, because they are also playing in Europe tonight. 5 consecutive wins in Serie A and scoring plenty of goals. So looks kind of a safe bet, Fiorentina to win, Leo, at this stage.
They are evolving into that, absolutely, Edu, to the point where just you need to mix Fiorentina to win with something else sometimes lately to find better odds with them. They're in a great form. You mentioned it all. And now they are winning as well 1-0 and away, like it was the case against Torino. I think it's very important because they've been lately like a goal feast to watch Fiorentina, but to win for small margins as well, and especially away, is good for them. To keep a clean sheet is good for them, and I think 𝐿𝐵𝐺𝐻 𝐿𝐴𝐵𝐺𝐻 goal against Torino epitomized in a way what they are now, because this is a team, Fiorentina, that can't and likes to play from the back, but it's a team that feels all right if it's being pressed. They like to attract the opposition, to then play long, knowing that 𝐿𝐵𝐺𝐻 𝐿𝐴𝐵𝐺𝐻 in this form, he can win his duels, and that's how the way they score against Torino. They hold the ball. Torino started to press high, long ball. 𝐿𝐵𝐺𝐻 𝐿𝐴𝐵𝐺𝐻 did very good with that, and he scored 1-0, and the game was done. They have a solidity at the back with Dodo as the right back, with Comuso, Ranieri, Gosens playing left back. Even Martinez Cuarta, the Argentine, when he comes on, he's doing better, I believe, than last season. The same goes for Biraghi. So they still need to recover Gudmundsson, Pongracic, so they're gonna become better and better, I believe. And Verona still is a team that doesn't know any grace. 4 wins and 7 defeats so far for them in the season. Just one of those 4 wins has been away for Verona. So my take here, Edu, Fiorentina to win plus Fiorentina first team to score, odds of 1.96.
Fiorentina to win and over 1.5 for 𝐻𝐿𝐴. Verona is horrible. Indeed, last season they risked relegation. They are changing summer after summer the players, and it's true that they got 2 early wins this season, and they stayed out of the danger, plus that win also with Roma. But Roma was horrible. That's why they are far away from danger. But I think it's a team that could struggle at the end of the season. No draws for them. It's the only team with no draws so far. Next game is Monza Lazio, and even if we check the standings, we might think that Monza is horrible, but they are not. But they have only 8 points. They are in the relegation zone. They deserved more, as I said before. In the derby against Milan, worst home team, though, Leo, in the competitions with no wins, only 3 points, and the visit is from Lazio, one of the most informed teams also in Serie A, with Baroni doing a great job, as we spoke in our Europa League video.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. And to be honest, I have only some reservations in this game with Lazio, because you know what? I mean, I believe, and I will tell you, my tips goes for Lazio to win and goes to the goals market. But the only reservation I have, this is the 6th game in 18 days for Lazio, and against Cagliari on Monday, the first half especially, and when they scored very early, because Diaz scored after just 2 minutes, they sat back a little bit and they look a little bit leggy, lethargic, like tired, to be honest. It's like they needed Cagliari to equalize before the break to go in the second half with different spirit that was provided mostly by Pedro and by the Uruguayan Matias Vecino. So just my only concern with Lazio. But then overall they are in an amazing form, Edu. That's true. They're playing tonight in the Europa League, but they're top of the Europa League as well with 3 wins out of 3 games. We're gonna see how is it tonight against Porto, which is gonna take a lot of focus, intensity, and in terms of physicality, it's gonna be very demanding for Lazio. But I still believe they should recover and take the 3 points in Monza, which I believe is not gonna be easy. I absolutely agree with you. We might be looking at the standings and think, well, Monza is an easy one, especially for the top team this season, like Lazio. But against Milan, they deserve much more. And if it was controversial in a point, Venezia's disallowed goal against Inter, I think this one was even more, the one that they disallowed against Milan for Monza, because an apparently foul on 𝐿𝐴 in the build-up. And I understand if Inter Venezia, they don't go to an on-field review because it's a factual decision. If it's handball, it's handball. But here, they haven't even asked the referee to go to the monitor to check the foul that the VAR was telling them that there was on 𝐿𝐴, which for me, there was no foul, and the game was 0-0. So I understand why Alessandro Nesta was so upset after the game. Daniele Maldini came so close in multiple occasions to score against Milan, but now Monza drop into the relegation places, and they're going to be facing this Lazio that won 8 out of 9 games in all competitions lately. They moved 3 points behind Napoli now with the win against Cagliari. So as I said, Lazio to win looks very good to me, Edu, 1.83. But I will go goals over as well in this case. Goals over 2.5, odds of 2.15 for me.
Well, actually, 𝐻𝐿𝐴 was asking you about your opinion about the goals market for this game, if this is going to be an over. And Leo thinks it's going to be an over, even if Monza is one of the teams with more under 2.5 goals. In 7 out of 11 games were under for Monza. Only Empoli had more with 8. If you wonder where I'm looking at these stats, Leo, in Oddspedia, actually. In the Serie A page, you go down. I'm sure Daniel can show us, and you have betting stats there. There you go. And then you can select under or over or the stats that you want, and it's so easy. But as you can see, in the opposite, over 2.5 goals, the best team is Lazio.
That's the thing.
So we have two opposite stats to show, and in your case, and for both teams to score, also Lazio. There you go.
And the last time they traveled to 𝐿𝐭𝐵 as well, it's been actually goals over 5. So yes, let's see with Lazio away.
Well, the game of the games, first against second. In Italy, they say partita scudetto. Leo, early days still to call this game partita scudetto, but the two favorites to win the title, of course, Inter performing really well in Europe. They are doing a great Champions League season. But they couldn't beat Milan and Juventus this season when they played at home. And in San Siro now is their chance to beat Napoli. And also Napoli fans, I guess they were disappointed after losing at home with Atalanta and already won in San Siro this season against Milan. So let's see how Napoli reacts, Leo, after that heavy defeat at home. How do you see this game? Inter favorite, of course, good odds. In my opinion, Inter is still the best team in Italy. So to back them for 1.9 is good, I would say.
Yes, and they need to. It was going to be interesting to see how they bounce back after the defeat, which was the first one since Matchday 1 against Verona as well at home for Napoli. It's a team, Napoli, that has not been used to being behind in the scoreline within the game. The only time was with Verona, and they lost, and against Parma, and as well at home. But it was a game that in the end they managed to turn it around to win 2-1 on the debut of Romelu Lukaku. I think a point for Napoli will make Conte happy, very happy in San Siro. I know I've been talking about Conte playing late plan B with 4 at the back. It was so unusual for him after years and years of playing with a 3-4-3 or a 3-5-2, his most used systems. But I think in San Siro he's going to go back to his plan A, especially because Inter plays that way, plays with 3 at the back. He's going to try to match up the system. So I expect changes from Napoli, at least in the way they're gonna set up against Inter. Look, Edu, Conte is gonna wake up on Sunday morning. He's gonna open the Gazzetta. He's gonna check the standings. And he's gonna see that Napoli is still top of the table. At least if he wakes up before 10:30, he's gonna see that Napoli is still top of the Serie A. By 3:00 in the afternoon, Napoli could be second, because if Atalanta wins against Udinese, which we believe is going to happen, Atalanta has better goal difference than Napoli. So by the time Napoli starts with Inter, they could be second in Serie A. But even by 10:00 or almost 11 p.m. in Milan, if they lose against Inter, they're going to be third already in Serie A this season. I don't think it was a dreadful performance from Napoli against Atalanta. They lack clarity in the final third, in the final pass as well. Someone could say that it's an advantage for Napoli, 1 week to rest, that Inter is going to have just the chance to train tomorrow, because today is a rest day for them after playing yesterday against Arsenal, and then they're going to train a little bit on Saturday morning. But the reality is, like, when you look at the squad they have, the quality of players in each department, look at yesterday against Arsenal. Mkhitaryan did not start. Thuram did not start. Bastoni was out injured. We see if he's going to play against Napoli. Di Marco did not start. Nicolo Barella did not start. Asllani played 25 minutes after coming back from an injury layoff. And with all these heavy rotations, they still won 8 of the last 9 in all competitions. And yesterday they were playing against a team who is trying to fight with Liverpool and Manchester City in the Premier League to win the title. And they won fairly yesterday, Inter. They were the best team on the pitch. So, yes, they are clearly the favorites, despite Napoli having a great season. I will go the goals under market in this one. Goals under 2.5, odds of 1.97.
Well, 𝐿𝐿 Napoli was really disappointing against Atalanta. I'll go for Inter win, but Napoli might score. This is 𝐿𝐿's opinion. Well, Leo, this is the last game in this match day 11. Great game, Inter Napoli. Let me know in the comments who are you backing. And let's remember also that we have our tipster competitions open. And you see, even you can win £100 voucher if you complete this survey, and you can participate for free in our tipster competitions for the month, for the Premier League, for the NBA, NFL, or whatever. There you go. Well, Leo, tell me your best bet.
Atalanta to win, 1.4, Edu.
ACCA?
And the ACCA, Milan to win, Juventus to win, Atalanta Udinese goals over 2.5, all this free, an ACCA of 4.67.
Juve to win for sure. Should be in the mix. Thank you, Leo. Thanks everyone for watching. Let's enjoy Serie A. Bye bye. Arrivederci, amici.